Live here tonight, the Loose Lugnuts Racing League heads to the beautiful Irish Hills of Michigan for the Summer Recruitment Series. I was going to say what round it is, and then I realized I don't remember, and I didn't want to just make up a number. So anyway, I'm Matt Egan, as always, joined by the fantastic Jeff Wood. How are you doing tonight, Jeff?
All right. Michigan. I mean, we ran here Sunday successfully, and it was a great race and got some cool interviews over there on Max Speed. Hoping to see the similar fashion of last Thursday that we missed at Kansas. Only one caution there over 100 laps. See if we can't get that to the 2-mile speedway of Michigan and minimize our cautions. Couple of the guys talking to them early on. You're going to have to fight the car more than you will the driver next to you.
Yeah, I tell you what, running the Cup car last night, and I know the Cup car is not exactly this Xfinity car. You have different horsepower, a little bit more downforce to play with, but man, that thing is snapping loose off the corners. At least the setup I was running was very loose off the corners, and these cars are a handful at this racetrack, but it's a fun handful at this racetrack. I always love Michigan, and I think we're in for a good race tonight. Right now, watching Tony Romack, driver that number 62 Hemp Shack machine, working off a turn number 4 for what I believe is his first lap, and he should be concluding that lap right now. We'll see where it puts him. 8th place, how about that? Not too shabby, but not too quick either. That is actually the second slowest lap time at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, lap we're going to have to look for. Good practice lap time was in the low ends of the 45, so we're still waiting to see a couple of them hit the board. Old Panic in that 14. That'd be Garrett Potts in the 938. He's got down into the 5s. I'm sure a couple of these guys maybe even dumping fuel here on the qualifying set just to see if they can't get a better time.
Yeah, that is for sure. Right now, only 2 minutes left in qualifying. Garrett Potts, as you said, in that 9:38, good lap time. And if you're wondering about what to expect from this racetrack, well, just expect, I think, 3 wide racing going into these corners a lot here tonight. I think that's going to be something we're going to see. It's a wide racetrack, and early or late into this race, I think these drivers are going to start getting into that kind of I want to make moves. And I think you'll see that towards the end of this. It's a track that really produces 3 wide racing as we're closing in on the end of qualifying.
I do believe, Matt.
Kyle Chadwick on pole. I'm not surprised by that.
Nope, 88 actually put down. That's about a whole 10th quicker than what he did during practice. So he's got a real fast car there during qualifying. Trent Drum with an exceptional time. 2/10 cut off his practice fast lap. So good job on the 12 machine.
And we'll see where he puts it. Well, he's second right now, but he'll stay second. Wesley Holland, 11th. Not too quick, not too slow, but you'd expect Wesley to be up there top 5.
He's got no practice time down for that 4. He got in here with about 10 minutes to go in practice, so the 4 car will either improve over the night or steadily get worse, depending on how he feels about the setup.
Hopefully improve over the night.
Yeah, that's the key. 25 drivers actually taking a qualifying time, waiting on the 87.
Make that 26.
Yeah,
Scott Patton, new pole. That's not a surprise right there.
No, 921. He's going to be in the 2. I know that's just a mistake there. Him going from league to league, trying to load the right paint setup. But an exact 10th off his fast time during practice. So I think some of this weather may be playing into a factor. We're about 2-3 degrees cooler on the air temperature, the track temperature, and maybe some clouds rolling in, hopefully, on this afternoon setting.
Yeah, that would help these guys a lot if they got that cloudy weather, but right now it is bright sunshine as we watch Kerry Cleaver make his lap with 10 seconds left. Can he get it in and make 27 drivers to set a lap time? That's going to be the question, and I don't think he'll be able to get that time in before it expires, and, well, no, he won't. So 3 seconds left till we go green. Scott Patton, going to be your pole sitter. Not that I think necessarily Cleaver had a shot at that pole there. He's a fast driver, but to dethrone that 921 is a pretty tall order. But he probably had a top 10 run going there.
All right, Matt. They're lining up on pit road. I'm going to take us down the order real quick. Give it another second here for a couple of these guys to load in. Get a good picture here. Yeah, let's go with our pole sitter here tonight. The 921 of Scott Patton in the 2 machine. Visually, he'll have a fast qualifying time of 44.38 there. Outside pole 88, Kyle Chadwick 44.84. So around 500s off for Kyle Chadwick. Third, Trent Drum, that 12 machine. Best qualifying I've seen from the 12 all early season. Hopefully he gets logged in. Rob Haynes, 4th. Robert Matisse, Old Panic in the 14, 5th. Garrett Potts, 938 and 6th. Troy Torgerson, 7th. Michael Jeans, 8th. Wally Tierheimer, 9th. John Held in the 980, he'll be 10th. Ken Richardson, 16 machine, starting 11th. Vernon Margheim, 12th. Wes Holland, 13th. Calvin Miller in the 977, 14th. Judd Danielson, 15th. Kevin Winter, 16th. Mark Jackson in the 3 machine, 17th. Jack Watts, 18th. James Nunn, still waiting for him to load in. He'll be 19th. Ray Richer will be 20th in the 44 machine. Tony Romack did not improve that qualifying like you saw him at 21st starting spot. Heath Kenny there, 22nd in the 982. Taylor Potts, 969, 23rd. Sean Dorr, 24th. Josh Scott, 25th. Jeff Knight, 26th. And Danny Rudy, 27th. Non-qualifiers. Amazingly, the 87 machine of Justin Michael. Jeff Gilmore, 29th. Mark Dingman, 30th. Wesley Whitfield, 31st. Jamie Crandall, 32nd. Kerry Cleaver, unable to get a lap down. The 029 starting shotgun on the field.
Yeah, and only 85 laps here tonight, Jeff. A little bit of a shorter race, but still a track as big as Michigan. These drivers, I'd say they still got to look at this one like a marathon and not a sprint. They'll tear up these cars before we get into the main part of this race, and that will be a big problem for them depending on how they run it.
Yep, tricky corner here tonight will be turn 2 exit. That's where we'll see guys slap that wall. Hopefully they don't got anyone immediately to their inside because they'll try to come off that wall pretty quick. Matt, you got the green here.
All right, well, pace car getting ready to go down, and as you can see, just massive amount of cars on track here. And probably one of our biggest fields this season. Pace car down. Into the Geico restart zone they go, and away they go. The green flag and a big wiggle in the back of the field. That's not a good way to start this race for, what was that? I think the 57, Jeff Gilmore.
Hopefully Gilmore recovered. Scott Patton gets an early hole shot. Guys are going to try to find their line. Here's the tricky part, getting out of turn 2, side by side. A lot of these guys are neck and neck.
Yeah, Patton's out of turn 2 just fine, though, as they go down the back straightaway. Kyle Chadwick and him side by side for position. And, yep, there's our first caution of the night. It looks like, well, I'm not quite sure who it is.
I see Jeff Knight involved, but he's not the guy that initiated this. Justin Michael with a little bit of damage, too.
Well, it looks like the 982 got the wall, got into Justin Michael, got into that Pepsi machine.
Yep. You're right. That's Heath Kenny there.
And off to the proverbial races, only a lap in. Also, folks, if you notice any graphical issues here tonight, iRacing did just deploy a new build. And for some reason, it has made all the graphics made everyone's graphics slow. So I'm not sure quite the issue there, but hopefully it'll be resolved with the patch. Gotta love iRacing. They add 20 new features and break 15 others.
Ain't that truth?
It's always like playing Russian roulette with these builds.
Yeah, heard some possible remarks on updated tires. I know we will be interested here at Loose Lugnuts for the tire set limits. So the admin team will probably get together and make a ruling on it tonight, or not tonight, but this weekend, and hopefully look at limiting tire sets. I think that's a key portion of racing that we can now add to this league.
Yeah, without a doubt, only 2 out of 85 laps complete so far. And, that's the question. Are we running unlimited tires still here tonight?
Yes, unlimited tires until we make a final ruling. The good thing is, though, without implementing the beta UI on 2-mile tracks such as Michigan, Auto Club, Daytona, we have 2 official pace laps. So when you pick up the pace car plus 2 laps, and then we're back to green flag racing. So that's a good iRacing update we've had. It stinks, though. I've heard some complaints about no lucky dogs sometimes. We'll have to see how that plays out tonight and see what we can't fix as a league. Hopefully no black flags are issued because we do not clear them as a league.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out here. Only 3 out of 85 laps in. We'll go green in just a moment. What do you expect to see on this restart?
Well, more of the same. That crash did come in the back and from a driver who barely put down any laps. So hopefully that driver next time logs in, puts down an efficient laps, because he obviously did not see that turn 2 come up as fast as he did. 2 drivers officially out: Jeff Knight, Heath Kinney, and I think Justin Michael, who was stepping in for a little bit of admin duties and started in the back. Well, he got involved in that too and has no front end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there to see for Justin Michael. And you mentioned there, he didn't take a qualifying time. One of the few times he has not taken a qualifying time, and it really bit him bad.
Yeah, I think he'll be more apt to not do that. I'm sure it was a little bit of a challenge. He has been winning just about everything. Didn't start out the summer series that way after winning the championship. He's really found his footing of late across 3 divisions of loose lug nuts and the other division of over-the-top designs.
All right, well, 4 out of 85 laps in. I'll let you get the green this time as we are working through turn number 2 right now.
Yep, this is the most important turn. I know they're pacing right here. I called it out. Obviously came at the tail end of the field. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. 1 caution equal to last week already. Still got a lot of laps. This is a big speedway, folks. I know a lot of y'all will be tuning in later on, but this is just absolutely huge speedway. A lot of room to maneuver. And there is that other brake pedal too. You can lift and you can hit the brake pedal. It does help, it does stink. Hopefully you get a chance to call out a competitor behind you too in that situation. Didn't see a lot of pitting, a lot of people staying put in line. Maybe a couple guys adding a couple tires here and there. Pace car is going to dive down, and it'll be up to Kyle Chadwick to restart this race at his discretion once that pace car does hit the infield. He's able to fire anytime from here on out. Pace limit is 70 miles an hour. Green flag in the box. Here we go. 10 number 2 at this.
Yeah, good restart there for Kyle Chadwick, out and away.
Quick single file from the top 3. Trent Drum's working that high side for 4th, battling hard right there. Let's see how fast Trent Drum is throughout the remainder of the race. I know he'll try and finish too.
So it was a pretty good restart there for the 921 Scott Patton, but he's got Robert Haynes right on his back bumper there at the moment.
Yeah, he does. Well, I mean, at least he has a teammate on the back bumper. I know we updated the damage model on the Cup car, and that's affecting how it bump drafts. I don't think the damage model is updated on the Xfinity machine, so bump drafting could be an exceptional feature here on the straightaways.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. We got one in the wall a little further back. Looks like the 78. I think Kevin Winter it was. Yes, it was.
Yep. He slowed up. A lot of guys had to move to avoid. He probably called it out.
So big issue for Kevin Winter. As he continues to fall back, and looks like he's settled out now, but the problem's going to be is he's in 18th place. You know, granted, we are only 7 laps into the race, but still, you don't want to be in that situation right now.
That is true, Matt, and he's definitely struggling off of turn 2, the tough corner, even more than he was first time back under full power of what his machine has left. So a few spots off the qualifying. I know he had a little bit of trouble during practice on the long runs. Talked about tires, and he's the one that mentioned that battling the cars more than your competitors. 3 wide there in the back. Touching.
Trying to look at that. That is the 951. I think that's James Nunn.
Yep.
New. Either way, he is falling back just a little bit. He was around Sean Dorr when he was 3 wide there.
Yeah, I think maybe Mark Dingman too. I did see an Abruzzi logo, but there's a lot of guys out there that have that. A lot of guys touching. That's for sure. That was a dangerous portion there, getting into the center part of the front straightaway.
Side by side here now. Kerry Cleaver working his way up through the field. Good run for Kerry Cleaver, by the way.
I think he just used too long of a restroom break before qualifying and did not have enough time. Obviously a faster machine than starting last on the field.
Yeah, that is for sure. And look at the 23, Josh Scott, another driver starting to move his way up through the field as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to find him on my board now. 25th spot here, like you mentioned. Trying to just motor on through after a semi-successful night on Tuesday night.
Take a look back up at the front of the field as there is some pretty close racing there. The 08 Garrett Potts, or not Garrett Potts, one of the Potts. No, that is Garrett Potts.
Yep, 938 there. The red one there is Garrett Potts.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. For some reason, their drivers are labeled as such to where certain drivers don't have their first names, and it makes it a bit difficult because all I have to look at is the last name. But yeah, that is Garrett Potts, as Jeff pointed out. And, you know, he's been away for a little while, but he has got a very fast race car gear tonight, and that's not surprising. When he raced consistently, I think he always had the 40 car. Man, was he something to be reckoned with. That car was always fast.
Yep, the only thing I have to worry about at the drivers who do take time off is their long run speed, as we're seeing cars pass them on the inside. Highsiders came on Sunday night with the Cup cars in the old build. Now it's the old build, but at 2 positions there and 1 lap for 938.
And right now, Kyle Chadwick holding on to the race lead. Mind you, not by much. You take a look at that battle for the lead there, Jeff, and he has got it only by what, maybe a car length at most, and even then I wouldn't really call that a comfortable gap.
Yep, pass back there for the third, possibly going on. Looks like Trent Drum making some moves over the 199. Chadwick misses the corner. Has to get out of the gas. There goes the 921 of Scott Patton.
Yeah, Scott Patton, quick pass there for him for the lead. Meanwhile, Trent Drum trying to capitalize on this. We'll go on board with him. And in car with Trent Drum, iRacing has added a new feature. They've added the camera shake. Unfortunately, modern race cars, they're really stable cameras in modern race cars. And this, in my opinion, is a bit unrealistic. But at any rate, I mean, it's kind of cool that we're getting these new features, you know?
Yeah, there's minimal camera shake, just like if you look at modern U.S. tanks. They got that gyro that allows you to move and adjust on the move. Same thing goes with modern cameras inside of vehicles that adjust for that shake. Maybe it was intended for those 87 cars that we got.
I was just gonna say that if you look at the camera shake on board these cars, and it looks like something I'd see in the videos from the 80s, and there it's appropriate for the 87 cars. but not for these 2010 cars, and especially not when you, well, I'd say the onboard camera, but we don't have the quote-unquote real onboard camera, but not for the roll bar camera.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what becomes of it. I'm sure it'll be one of those many patches and adjustments we get.
Yep, we always get about, what was it, last build we had 7 of them, so.
Oh, that was just because of NASCAR's entry.
True, but
NASCAR, we had more eyes focused on iRacing than at any time. And gosh, the 6-7 years I've been doing iRacing, so.
I'm sure we'll get a handful of patches, hopefully one to adjust the frame rate issues so we can bring you smooth streams again. Because we just put a lot of money into upgrading our systems here at ASN, and man, I hope you guys have liked it because we've loved bringing it to you, but iRacing's put a bit of a damper on it. But we're trying to work through it.
Troy Turgerson, that 987 machine, moving up to 4th, passing Rob Haynes at 199, falling backwards, almost going to fall victim. Oh,
yep, there you go. Here goes Robert Haynes. And
said
look
he was going back.
He's got Michael Jeans just kind of waiting in the wings there.
Yeah, this is a bad move, though. 199 just got passed. Rather than getting in line and trying to recalculate himself, he's fighting a 3 wide. Michael Jeans is looking. Trent Drum's going for second. Hoorah, Trent Drum.
Is single file there for the most part, but Trent Drum, as you mentioned, side by side with Kyle Chadwick. And a little bit of a wiggle. I think that was out of Chadwick there. He came close to touching that outside wall there, Jeff. But they'll stay side by side. And that's the interesting thing with Chadwick. He almost hits the wall. I don't think he lift out of the throttle at all. I think he stayed in it, stayed planted in the throttle.
Yep, he's trying to match guys in front of him. Chadwick's now got to find his long run speed because he's dropped 2 positions since the restart over a 10-15 lap period. That's pretty quickly. I know they're eating up tires really well, and we're into the caution, so they're going to get a new set of tires.
Yeah, caution flag's out. I think Ray Richer has gone around, and yes, he has. Man, I tell you what, Ray's got some beautiful looking paint schemes. He's got the new cars. He was running what was it, Sim Shop or what it was, his new sponsor, and then he's got a Bruzy on the side of this one. But I tell you what, he's had bad luck ever since he got rid of that classic flame scheme.
Yeah, had Kerry Cleaver on his bottom here, Matt, and he's going in a semi 3 wide situation, 2 wide really.
Yeah, I think it looked like he came down on Cleaver just a smidge.
On my view, looking from the TV1 camera here, Matt, Ray Richard definitely comes down out of the corner, but Kerry Cleaver comes up out of the corner. So I would call him meet in the middle there. Thankfully, the Ray Richard, it doesn't look like he touched the wall any.
No, he did not. He kept it. He did a real good job there, hooked it left, and got the car to stay well off the wall, well off of any other cars, and all he needs is 4 fresh Eagles, and he'll be good to go.
Yep.
But yeah, Ray, if you're out there listening to this, maybe take your old flame scheme and maybe put the Bruzy logos, whatever logos you need on it, because I think that's the missing link for him. I think the bad luck. I mean, hey, I'm a superstitious person. I believe in, bad luck, all that kind of stuff. And I think there's something to it with the paint scheme,
Yeah, speaking of that bad luck, the announcer's curse, I don't want to give it to Trent Drum. He's the guy I want to interview, but, really hard checkup there from the 12 entering pits, but I don't know who. Chadwick, obviously there. Scott Patton with the pole and lead. I think we'll talk to Scott Patton out of the pits after we see what he does. He's got the whole shot with box number 1.
Yeah, we'll see how it happens for Patton here. If I can get a camera on it, there we go.
He's already got that thing revved up and going. That's real old school iRacing right there. Turning the tires, hitting the throttle before your team's even got the car down. He's out.
He's out and away. He'll be first one out. But look at the race off pit lane, 3 wide. And I want to say Troy had it on Chadwick. No, he did not.
Chadwick gets the position just barely. Let's bring up that 921 of Scott Patton real quick.
Talk about a race off pit road, though. I mean, that was something.
That was something. Here we got Scott Patton up here. Hopefully, got to get a quick interview with this new setting of pace laps under caution. Scott, you got back to the lead, ran down the 88. He's behind you. Probably going to offer, uh, a higher level on this restart to get back by you and put you behind him. Where do you want to be, and what are you going to do to make sure the 88 doesn't accomplish his goal?
I think our biggest bet is to just get a good start here and make sure we don't push off these corners. We've both done it. I gave the lead to him, I think, on the lead of the race, and then he pushed off at 2 and gave the lead back to me. So if we can just minimize the mistakes, and I think stay out in front and play the tire game from there.
You talk about that tire game. Are you battling the track more? Because we did hear competitors say that you're going to battle the track and your tire consumption more than you are the guy side by side for you, at least after the first lap.
Yeah, exactly. So far, we haven't had a whole lot of side-by-side racing, but it takes a lot of patience here, especially in 3 and 4. It feels like we're just putting the brakes on and waiting for the car to turn. Feels like forever. So got to remember to hold that patience there through the corners and just ride it out, even if some guys are pulling ahead. Just kind of let them run out, and hopefully we reel them back in.
All right, Scott, hitting that back straightaway, already doubled up with this new quick cautions. We'll let you get back down to the team.
Thanks, Jeff.
Well, interesting take there from Scott. Obviously up front, looking for damage throughout the field. There's a couple drivers with a little bit of damage, mostly right side, Matt.
Yeah, that is for sure. And, just get in the wall just a little bit. And, that'll do it to you. But luckily, these guys don't have the new damage model yet, so they're not they're not destroying the cars just yet.
I don't know, those ARCA machines repair pretty nicely under that new damage model.
That is true. All right, pace car down. And here we go. Green flag back in the air.
Troy Turgerson going to get a nice shot out of here. Scott Patton restarting really well. That 97.08 drops to the bottom. Chadwick maybe stuck on the top for a little bit.
Yeah, Chadwick's got a great race car right now as he is trying to hold on to second place. Look at Michael Jeans down on that bottom lane trying to get by. I think that's the 987 Troy there on his outside.
Yep, he's going to make that pass right now, but not got a lot of room to the line. He's going to dip down. Got Ken Richardson. Troy's on the top side. Probably going to drive it in deep here on the top.
Yeah, I think he will. And look at Ken Richardson. You got Ken just kind of waiting in the wings back there. That number 16 Can-Am machine trying to make something happen. He's going to have a little bit of a hard time. Big wiggle out of that car, but he holds on to it.
Yeah, they scattered there for a second. They didn't know if he was going to go to the wall or not. Looks like the 08 is going to gain position here. Ken Richardson a little bit surprised, like Trent Drum tonight, how well they were doing. Good to see that 16 team up there in fourth spot at the line.
See, I'm not really surprised there with Ken Richardson. We always see Ken run well. It's just a matter of how well is he going to run, over a long run. We see him run well on a short run, but it seems to be his problem is long run speed. He usually doesn't have it too well,
Yep, I think that's 50-50. There's 50% of the guys have the long run figured out, and 50% of the other guys don't. They got that short run figured out for sure. Sometimes a little bit of mixed match depending on which track and which league you are in, really, at any given day. Could be long or short run racing.
24 out of 85 laps in. We got 62 to go. If you're a driver right now, Jeff, not a driver say in the top 5, because I think you're a top 5 driver right now. You got to push hard because everyone around you is pushing hard and, you know, you got to go with the pack or you'll get thrown back. But say you're Mark Jackson, 11th place, what is your strategy going to be? Because there's a few ways he can approach this race. He can go hard, he can try and play a middle game, or he can back it up and really conserve the race car, banking on long green flag runs.
Well, I'll tell you what, on Sunday, when we saw Mark Jackson, even with the damage he received, he was involved in like 2 cautions on Sunday, but boy, did he have Michigan figured out. Rallied back after a poor pit stop choice, that 3 machine to finish top 10. Mark Jackson is in that position right now, obviously figuring out a few different things between Cup and Xfinity.
Yeah, that is a good point to make there. And, you know, he's had a good race so far, though. He stayed right outside the top 10. I think that 3 car is going to have a good finish here tonight, you know?
Yep, I totally agree, Matt. Obviously, Trent Drum in front of him having a heck of a night, too, early on. Both those guys, and Mark Jackson included, he has to make smart decisions. And I think if he remembers Sunday and tries to improve on himself after that, on those decisions, he'll find himself top 10, maybe top 5 at the end of the night.
26 out of 85 laps in. Scott Patton has led for the last 14 of them. And once again, take a little further back, look at Vernon Markey, Jeremy Crandell, and Judd Danielson trying to get by Crandell there. That was an aggressive move, moving Crandell up to the top, and it didn't pay off. That 73 stays in front of him.
Yep, a lot of room out of turn number 4. Probably most room on the speedway on any corner exit. Oh, 73 tough. Markheim did not give him a lot of room on the top side, but they're still door to door. There goes, I think that looks like Tony Romack going down to the bottom.
Yeah, that is that Hemp Shack machine all the way at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by Judd Danielson right now. And he's at his quarter panel through 3 and 4. Well, Judd's at Romack's. And 3 wide, Josh Scott says it's an open piece of real estate, so might as well take it. But that's a very dangerous piece of property, and I don't think it's the best place to be.
Yeah, 23 should just shorten his corner here, but he doesn't. He's pressing the situation.
Yeah, that's going to be dangerous. You know, Josh has got to figure that out right there.
Yeah, good thing Judd had a great corner there, because I don't think that 23 was going to come off that corner to the 85 real good. Caution is out. Not
yep.
What we reviewed.
Yeah, not from where we thought it might be from.
Maybe the 955 of Danny Rudy.
Yes, it is, but not for the reason you would think. He didn't spin out.
I'm guessing he stopped on the speedway.
Not even that. He stopped, well, he slid, saved it, and stopped not even on the racing surface.
Sheesh. Well, we all know how iRacing loves to call weird cautions. Drivers, if you're listening, please take that into effect. Go to pit road. Get on pit road.
Comes to a stop. I mean, give him credit. He wasn't trying to interfere with the race. He comes to a stop almost on the access road at the end of the back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good place to stop in real life, too. You probably make that left-hand turn into the pits right there, but you just can't do it on iRacing anymore. They have this wide caution grid that will just see you parked and they'll throw it.
Yeah, that should not have been a caution.
Nope, but we let iRacing throw the cautions, and after I believe it was the 2020 Season 1 build, they expanded the zone of caution.
So Scott Patton bringing him down.
Yeah, gonna be interesting race off of pit road for sure. Maybe some 2-tire stops here. Maybe right side onlys if you're way back there. Let's say in 29th place.
Scott Patton slid it right into the box right there.
Trent Drum with a bad pit stop there. That 12 machine inched in.
So interesting to see there. Kyle Chadwick, good race off pit road. Chadwick's going to take the lead back.
Did he get it?
Yes,
wow.
he did.
It is crucial on these restarts for sure. And what a race off of pit road there. let's bring him up for a quick interview.
I wasn't
as we
surprised by that. He got a lot of speed on pit road that time.
Yep, great pit stop from that 88 machine. Now gets to control the restart, which may be a key figure here between you and Scott Patton leading the most laps. The 88, like I said, controlling the restart. What are you going to do differently compared to starting on the outside?
Just try not to miss the turn. That's how I lost the lead the first time, but it's just being out front in clean air helps a lot.
One lane track, or is there optional grooves if you have, miss your corner?
Nah, it's a one lane track pretty much down the middle, but you just gotta wait for someone to mess up in front of you.
We saw on some of those long runs that Scott Patton was able to get to your rear bumper that first long run, drafting up to the leader and then waiting for a mistake. Is that the key to get by you? Like you said, you missed your corner.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing I was doing at the end of the run there. I was just trying to wait till, try to cross him over coming off two and stuff. He never missed it.
Now, we don't got a lot of time, but we were talking about that lucky dog thing early. Are we not seeing that here tonight?
I don't think we've had anyone get a lap down yet, so not that I know of yet.
All right. Well, thanks for those quick infos there, and I will let you get back down to the team, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, and I'll let you get the green here, Jeff, as Kyle Chadwick brings him down the back stretch right now.
Yep, interesting to see if he gets the great restart Scott Patton did last time. Scott's probably like, how did he beat me off a pit road? I'm sure their pit times are just about key. 88 was right on the bumper, and they knew each other's pit stalls, and I'm really surprised Scott Patton didn't get that nose out. Maybe just that little bit of extra time to get up to speed helped the 88 off of pit road. Trying to see in the top 10. Wes Holland is a big mover here tonight already. And Jack Watts, 18th to 10th already. And Mark Jackson's still maintaining 11th spot there, Matt.
Yeah, Jackson's just doing a good job holding on to where he needs to be. Again, top 10 car. You just got to play his cards right.
All right, wait for that pace car to drop. And Kyle Chadwick will probably wait till almost the box here, right there at the white line. Yep, there he goes. Green flag out. Pretty decent getaway there for the 88 team. Scott Patton reels in second. Looks like Michael Jean's a little bit of a fight for third.
Yeah, Gene's trying to get to third, hold on to third place, but he does. Robert Haynes there. We haven't talked about him a lot tonight, but he's trying to work his way up. Michael Jean's almost turned around. Saves it, though. Good save.
Yeah, good save from the 08. Got to talk to his competitors right here. There's going to be some three wides maybe coming up. 08's going to have to struggle forward. Maybe hope for another caution and a great pit stop ahead.
Yeah, he's going to fall back. He's going to fall back a lot here.
Battle for third.
I mean, he might even go back a little bit more than 11th, but yeah, you go back to that third place battle. We'll take a look at that. I think that is Robert Haynes.
Yeah, Rob Haynes not getting the straightaway speed that he wanted. Troy Turgensen takes over third, and Scott Patton's riding pretty steady behind the 88 machine.
Yes, he is. Robert Haynes, big move up into line there. How about that?
Yeah, he's going to show the nose. No, that was Ken Richardson showing the nose, putting Rob Haynes to the high side. Rob Haynes gives away. Here comes Garrett Potts, it looks like. No, that might be Wes Holland.
Yeah, that is Wes Holland. Well, Wes Holland, yeah, that is in that 4 machine, 7th place.
14. Yeah, 14. Sorry there, Panic. I didn't see you skip old Wes on the board there for a second. Rob Haynes did not like that outside. Just gave it away. He didn't want no contact, but that move from Ken Richardson lost him two positions there.
And Robert Haynes doing a good job moving his way through the field, or was doing a good job moving his way through the field, I should say. Now he's going to have to rework it. And he's going to have to rework it with Wesley Holland all over his back end. That's going to make things hard because Wesley Holland, great driver there, definitely going to want that spot, and I think he's probably going to get that spot too.
Yeah, we talked about Wes trying to make up positions due to his practice time. He's an old Michigan alum, at least on Loose Lugnuts Racing. Him and Donald King hold the closest finish ever here at Michigan for Loose Lugnuts Racing, and I believe that was in those old asphalt sprint cars.
35 out of 85 laps in. Jeremy Crandell will take a look further back, racing around Mark Jackson and Josh Scott. Well, isn't this the combination that we just had before this caution here, Jeff?
Ain't that true? Scott always put in the position. That's Calvin Miller, I think, there in that 977 leading the inside. Oh, contact.
Contact right there. Crandell and Scott 3 wide now. Mark Jackson, the man in the middle. They'll double out again, and big wiggle out of literally everyone.
Ooh, Josh Scott, small blink there, not too much, but I don't think that was Josh Scott's fault there. I think the 977 skipped the middle of the corner. Got to be mindful. He's got a lot of speed, that 977. Well, you got to watch your corner exits for sure, at least the midway. We heard those couple interviews out of turn 3 and 4, just trying to hold the brake long enough for those cars to turn.
And we'll see how it plays out. You notice Trent Drum now has damage on his back bumper.
Ooh,
I don't know if he just picked that up.
Damage. Yeah, that sounds like restart damage if it's square.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it.
That stinks because that guy, boy, starting third, best qualifying I've seen him do in quite a long time. And then he was battling up there for second for a bit. I don't like his pit stops. Maybe he's got to work on it a little bit more, but his racecraft has really improved here tonight at Michigan.
38 out of 85 laps in. We are closing in on just 40 laps to go here, Jeff. And look at Crandell, look at Scott, Josh Scott. He's all over the back bumper and Trent Drum. One thing you don't want to do with the car that's already damaged, you don't want to get it more loose, because I'm sure that 12 is probably already on the edge of control right here.
Yeah, I would agree. Scott's a little bit aggressive at nature. Good. Oh, wow, he almost came up to 73. Yeah, like I said, Scott's a little bit aggressive in corners and how he approaches other drivers. Always a learning curve. You don't usually race around the same people, but sometimes you come across different parts of the speedway that you do well at versus others. You just gotta calculate those negatives and positives. That's what Josh Scott's here learning versus Jeremy Crandell, Trent Drum, and Tony Romack. Scott Patton to the lead, though.
Side by side, a little further back. We'll take a look back at the race lead. It is Kyle Chadwick, Scott Patton, as you mentioned. And Chadwick having a good run.
Now he lost that lead, though. He's we see those 10-lap tires go for Kyle Chadwick, and he loses a bunch of speed. Definitely a second place, third place car here on the long run. But Kyle Chadwick, if we get to a short run at the end of the field tonight, I would bet on the 88 over the 921.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. The 88 is definitely good on the short run, and like you said, it has been about 10, maybe 12 laps into this run now. I think probably closer to 10.
Yep.
Well, we ran green on, about exactly 10 laps. We ran green on lap 30. At any rate, the point I was trying to say is, you're 100% right. Scott Patton's car takes about 10 laps to come in there. And so we get that late race caution, as we so often do. Kyle Chadwick's going to be the guy to beat.
Yep. Fourth, fifth place right here. Wes Holland, Robert Matisse, 4 and 14 teammates. Doing well, marching through the field.
Contact in the wall.
Yep, Ken Richardson going to take advantage of that, get that speed, and I think Wes Holland may have tagged the wall a little bit too. Ken fit tight right through there in between those two teammates. Yeah. 14's tires may be fading a little bit. He has to watch it. Nope, makes the inside move. Old Panic going down below Ken Richardson. 14's washing up already. Look at him get on the brakes. I saw those rotors fire up.
Well, he tagged the wall there, so he might have some aero damage. Maybe that car getting a little bit more loose than he wants it to. But, you know, never a good sign where you see those brake rotors start to glow at Michigan.
Now, I imagine 3 and 4 are the culprits of that. I think it was Scott Patton who said, just getting that car to turn out of 3 and 4, we're waiting for it. Sometimes you're using the brakes, sometimes you're using the gas. I know in builds past, you just, middle throttle through that 3 and 4. I don't think it's the same way now. Looking for a race for you here, Matt, and a lot of single file action. Maybe Sean Dorr, the 65.
Yeah, he's got a good car, about 17th place. Got to get through the field, though. That's going to be the problem, and I don't think he's going to do that without another yellow, and that's going to be the real big problem for him.
Yeah, Sean Dorr probably needs he's definitely probably got a 15th place car. Obviously, a little bit more help out there for Sean Dorr. These long runs probably not positive for him in the effect of getting through the field and positioning himself well on restarts. A little bit racy behind him too there in that 85 of Judd Danielson. Oh, Romack went up the hill.
Yeah, Tony Romack slides up. Going to be a little bit closer to Garrett Potts now. Garrett Potts, I'm surprised to see Garrett Potts at the back of the field. I guess that's, one of the issues, with the situation of just having to readjust to racing with these guys.
Oh, he's going to go uphill.
Yep, tags the wall. Can he hold on to that car? Makes Judd Danielson, or no, that's Ray Richer, have to chase his car around.
James Hunt gets by him. I did say with Garrett Potts, great qualifying time, great quick run speed, but with his absence, not being able to full-time I-race inside the league, you see the long run drop off there. It's something you just figure out with more seat time. It really does go away for these drivers, and a lot of them can't, run full-time schedules, or they come when they can, and we appreciate it. But you just have to realize that if you don't have a handle on the car and you've taken a month off, or whatever the numerical data may be, you will be slower over those long runs. You just won't realize it right away.
Yeah, that is very true right there. Meanwhile, Scott Patton under fire. That is a new battle for the lead and a new leader here tonight. Troy Ferguson.
Yeah, good job from that 987 right there. Good long run speed. I think we still have at least one more green flag pit stop available. I would say around 30 laps. Just on a quick look would be our margin of error for green flag racing. Scott Patton and Ferguson exchanging the lead right there out of 3 and 4. Scott forces the 987 behind him now. Good battle up front with these guys. Wes Holland about 2 seconds off. We'll have to see if Wes Holland chooses to do something different. Not quite yet in that 30-lap window.
We'll see how that plays out. I think Wes is probably going to stick to the same strategy that these leaders do. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised if he tries and breaks from it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, Wes is definitely a guy that's got Michigan figured out. I did mention his fuel run there with old Don King back in the day. But still, Wes doing as well as he has with the minimal practice time just shows how well he knows these vehicles and getting around Michigan. I think the more important thing is Michigan. And he's 13th to 3rd, 10 spots up. Kyle Chadwick continuing to fall back hopefully the 88 team looks at what his buddy there is doing and tries to adjust his line.
And right now, look at the 980. I want to give a mention to him as he's under fire from Robert Mattis. I think Mattis is going to get that spot, but at any rate, that 980 car, I think one of his first races here tonight, he's doing a great job. Top 10 run for a new driver with these guys and some very top-rate competition. That is awesome to see. Also, great paint scheme.
Yep. I think that's a little bit of a Ricky Craven throwback, maybe even Ricky Rudd. Is that Napa on the backside? Because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think it's a Ricky Craven throwback, but with some different sponsors. I think it works with the Napa logo, though. I got to be honest. I like it.
Yep. That's
it's different.
It's a different placement. Here comes Michael Jeans, the guy that got loose out of turn 2, or maybe had a little bit of help. Don't really know, but it looks like he's going to get 2 spots here over the next lap.
Yeah, he's moving his way on up after his incident. Well, he fell back, you'll remember, Jeff, and he's starting to try and move it on up, which
Yeah,
is good to see.
This is probably plus 10 position since the last time we looked at the 08. How much track he's had to make up.
Yeah, he's
14 holding
doing
strong,
pretty
though.
good, though.
Well, but you
Scott
mentioned that-
Patton regains the lead, by the way.
Yep, they're battling up there. You did mention that 980. He's had a few crashes, but I think as that 980 of John Held improves his qualifying time and starts to start up towards the top 10, I think he'll find better racing for himself. Not to say that, guys that qualify in the back are, bad racers, but it can get a little bit racy back there at the beginning. You got to make up a lot of stuff if you had a bad qualifying spot, or you see someone in the back make a mistake. That's why we see a lot of the crashes happen towards the rear end of the field.
Yeah, and right now, close battle for the race lead. I'm really surprised, though, to see this battle, because I didn't really, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really have that 987 pinned as someone that could really challenge for the race lead. I mean, he's been a fast driver all night, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, Scott Patton has really had a stranglehold on these races, not just here tonight, but, I mean, all season, Jeff. So, it's great to see a competition.
Yep, Scott Patton early on the season pulled off 2 quick wins. The first 2 races of the season, I think, and has a little bit of struggles in between, but on the Thursday night schedule, now looking for his 3rd win during the summer series.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to see here tonight. Meanwhile, you can see Mark Jackson. He'll be the first one down. Big wiggle checkup coming into pit lane. Not a good pit entry.
Yep, a little bit tough getting down there. Now the 938 of Garrett Potts, so we are in that 30-lap window. There goes Mark Jackson saying, I need tires. In my mind, you don't want to be the first and you don't want to be the last guy to enter pit road. Unfortunately, Mark Jackson is first.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was about 14, so I really don't think he's going to lose too much. It's going to be a big loss for the leader, though, if he screws up this strategy. So for Scott Patton, he's got to play this pretty carefully.
A lot of these guys, if you don't know, at least it rang true in the past, I think the iRacing spotter says you got to start pitting with about 2.5 laps left to go. A lot of times you can run a lap off or maybe even 2 laps off that time schedule that iRacing suggests. So just a little bit of strategy some of the guys in the past have put towards myself helps improve my position on track.
Yeah, without a doubt there. And here's the $1 million question. When do you expect to see that 921 come down pit lane?
Oh, right after the 987.
Well, that's a fair point.
I think Scott Patton's trying to force Troy Turgerson to be 1 lap less on tires. I think Scott Patton wants that advantage of 1 lap because we can see what 1 lap tires do on the short run, you can burn those things down and still make a decent long run. Obviously, Scott Patton did well enough to maintain the lead. Watching him through 3 and 4, no one's hitting that brake to get it turned left. 08 of Michael Jeans is pitting, though.
Yeah, Michael Jeans down pit lane. I think that's one of the first front runners down pit lane, so that
Chadwick there.
Yep, and that might send a message to Scott Patton to say, hey, you know what, maybe I got to get down pit lane.
Yep, Ken Richardson, John Held, and Trent Drum follow the group in. Wes Holland, Troy Turgerson, Scott Patton remain. Robert Matisse is out. Jack Watts making up a few spots with people pitting.
And it's really interesting to see here some of these guys start to move through the field, because you think about, well, what if there's a caution? What would that mean for this race? Well, it would mean Jeff Gilmore, Ray Richer, these guys here would have a really legitimate chance to potentially win this race if we got a caution right now.
Yep, leaders coming down pit road. That includes the top 3. Nope. Wes Holland keeps going. I think that's the 14 I saw coming down pit road. Yes, he is. Wes Holland takes the lead, but Scott Patton and Troy Turgerson taking their pit stops. Wow, Wes Holland continues around the speedway, putting down some extra laps. Wow.
Yeah, Wesley Holland here. I think he's just trying to wait out a caution. And, you know, that's not a terrible strategy to run. But the problem with that strategy is, when you think about it, if he doesn't get that caution, he puts himself into the situation of, well, I'm the last driver to pit, and I've really hurt myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I guess at a 2-mile speedway, that's not, super speedway, it doesn't really hurt. You'll be the guy with the freshest tires. But these guys are just coming back around, getting their laps back from Wes Holland, Calvin Miller, Trent Drum now. And you just don't want to see, your competitors that you were 1, 2, 3 with start to pass you.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I think once he sees something like that happen, that might be where he pulls the plug and goes down pit lane. But at that point, then it's too late, in my opinion,
Yeah, he's signaling inside now. He cut off Garrett Potts there to signal it. So I think we'll see the 4 machine start to head down pit road.
Yeah, he's going to try for the entry here. It's going to be a pretty fast entry, like you said. Doesn't lock him up, though.
No, he got down to 55. That was a good pit entry.
Pretty solid move in.
Jack Watts takes the lead. He'll be the guy out the longest. And Rob Haynes, one of the last fast guys to pit, along with Wes Holland.
So meanwhile, Jack Watts holds on to the race lead, and he's going to have to pit soon, too.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of rear end starting damage there.
I think he's heading down right now, actually.
Yeah, he when you cut off a guy faster than you just to get the inside, it usually signals that you're heading towards pit road.
And he's in. Another good entry there for a driver. Really, I've only seen one driver, and that, of course, is Mark Jackson, who had that pretty bad pit entry. I hate to mention that, because Mark's had a pretty good race otherwise, but that was just not good entry for him.
Yeah, at least from what we viewed. I'm sure there's a couple guys, because Sean Dorr has called it quits for the night. Usually that signals you probably spun out on pit road during the pit cycle.
Yeah, well, he was running towards the back of the field, too, so he might have just had enough of that as well.
Yep. That is right there. Trying to view the top 10, see where we're coming around. Jack Watts is just getting off of pit road, so Scott Patton's going to take the lead, but guess who's still behind him, only about 4/10 off.
Well, that would be, I think, Kyle Chadwick.
Nope, Troy Torgensen.
Oh, well, that's a good pick. I don't know why I thought Chadwick. I look at my relative box, and that's the first driver I see. But Chadwick's not a bad pick, too. He's only about 2 seconds away from that race leader, and he can close that.
Like I said, I think Chadwick's probably one of the faster dudes on a short run if we get that, other flag to come out. I sort of don't want it after such a great race here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Scott Patton back to the lead. I think they're well endowed to get to the end of this race. The scheduled 85 laps are 2 green, white checkers if we need them. I kind of like this, Matt. Let's talk about the shortening of the cautions on these 2-mile speedways. It's really increased, how do you say it? The time length is not as significant. We've gotten through these cautions quick.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, we've only had, we can look at the caution count, and we will. We've only had 3 cautions, which is a pretty low amount, even for Michigan. We usually average, I think, 4 or 5. So we're doing pretty well on cautions as well. And then these guys are maintaining a pretty fast pace. They're averaging, I think, 41-second laps, which is pretty good for Michigan as well.
Yep, mid 40s on new tires, and I think you can slide as far as 43 on old, depending on how you handle your car.
But you look at some of these hot times, and you get some of these drivers. They're lapping, again, hot laps, so not their average. But their hot laps, some of these guys are close to 39s, which is pretty impressive.
There you go. I mean, that's just rubber on the track right now. Conditions improving. 98 degrees. We have dropped 10 degrees since the session opened up at 6:30 Central. So 10-degree drop. Thank God for that air temp being at 84.
Yeah, fastest time we've had here tonight. I'm looking it over right now, Jeff, and I believe that award can go to Kyle Chadwick, which, again, that's why I kind of brought him up earlier. 40.347. That's fast. I mean, that's really fast for Michigan.
That's fast. That's faster than that qualifying time.
Yeah.
He butt down. Faster than Scott Patton.
He shaves 0.3 off of that, and he's at a 39-second lap. And that's not entirely unthinkable either.
No, I mean, good Michigan afternoon when we really run this race on the circuit. This was supposed to be the week Michigan ran in real life before COVID, so we're sticking with that original schedule for the most part for most of these races. So,
but think about this, right? And I'm just hung up on this lap time because, I mean, that is incredibly quick. We got a caution here, maybe with, say, 15 to go. Everyone pits. They're not going to take fuel, obviously. Chadwick might run a 39-second lap on fresh tires, limited, lighter race car, no fuel, brand new tires, and maybe a little bit of a wind pushing him, and we do have a wind. So if he can get that wind to push him down the backstretch, you might get a 39-second lap out of that car, and that's impressive.
Yeah, speaking of a guy that has put down an impressive time, had some up and downs here tonight already, that 08 of Michael Jeans. He faded to about 18th place, got up to about 7th before the pit window. Now running 3rd. I'm interested to see if he's got, he shortened his pit maybe, didn't take as much fuel. Something different for Michael Jeans to make up 4 or 5 spots on a pit cycle.
Yeah, that is incredibly impressive there. I mean, before they pitted, he was, 7th place? Mm-hmm. Something to that effect, somewhere around there. Now he's in 3rd.
Trent Drum back in the fold. Good job. The 12 machine just outside the top 5.
Yeah, Trent Drum doing good. He's got that damage, still has it, but it's not too terrible.
I think he's learned to race with it now. I think that's the key. And a lot of that damage can be repaired without, an extensive extra stay on pit road.
And you know what else? When you look at it, Jeff, look at his spoiler. It's not affecting the spoiler too much. That spoiler is still, it is there, but for the most part, compare his in the 14s, it's still pretty much straight. And that's the big thing.
It does round a little bit at the top. However, it's off from the 14 and other clean cars, but like I said, maybe just a millisecond of that, right side tire carrier coming across, pulling on the back end, stretch it out, whatever iRacing simulates to get that damage repaired. That millisecond of the tire carrier coming around, just pulling on the sheet metal, probably helped out the 12.
Yeah, you might be 100. I think you're 100% right on that. Let's go back to this battle for the race lead, though, because take a look, Jeff. What do you see there? About a 1 car length difference with, 15 laps to go at the stripe?
Yep. I don't know if this is where I want to pressure Scott Patton. I want to be on his bumper the whole time, or at least close to the bumper. I don't know. You eventually got to disrupt the 921. That's for sure. The 921 is trying to break the draft here. Troy Turgensen, this is where we saw him 10 laps into a run take the lead, but Scott Patton took it right back. Troy is doing everything he can to get back to that lead, and then he's going to have to hold on to it, which he did not do on that last go-around.
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing, though. We saw that 987 get the lead. It is possible. It's just we didn't see him hold on to it, and that was the problem for him.
Yep. I mean, Troy has right now a better turn 4 exit than Scott
There we
Patton.
go. Might have it here, and nobody thought about it.
And he's still a couple laps away. He's showing the inside. Let's see if this messes up Scott Patton. Scott Patton gave him a lot of room, too.
Scott Patton here trying to hold on to the race lead, and you think Scott Patton's feeling the pressure of, well, there's only 13 laps left at the stripe in this race, and I have a really fast driver on my tail?
Yeah, these two aren't teammates, so Scott Patton has no idea what the 987's got going on in his brain. Troy Turgensen, you got to mix it up here. You got to, obviously he's doing it on the front straightaway, trying to break draft or keep draft in a different angle. I see Troy Turgensen's entry to corners a little bit lower, which I think is going to help Scott Patton. Obviously the high side is a lot softer on the tires around Michigan, and if Troy doesn't get the lead here in the next 5 laps, I think Scott Patton's going to walk away.
Yeah, I think you might be 100% right on that one. That gap's staying consistent, though. It's not opening up, luckily.
Well, as long as the 987 can keep the draft, Scott Patton's not going to get away unless Troy makes a mistake out of the corners. $14 into the wall, by the way. 4 makes a pass. John Held maintains 5th. Chadwick, not so fast.
Fourth.
Yeah, not so fast in 4th, but
No, he's
still top 5.
42-second laps right now.
Yeah, like I said, great, initial speed. That 88 did mention early on to me that he was worried about the long run, and I think turn 2 is, and in turn 4 at that too, as he almost, I keep saying almost touches the wall. That's just the way the 88 been driving tonight.
Yeah, 10 laps to go here. Yep, there goes Wesley Holland. Not surprised by that.
Yep, guy with the freshest tires on the field. Let's see if he can make up 5 seconds to get back to the podium. He is flying, though. I'm worried he will only get to Kyle Chadwick because that. Oh no, he can get to Michael Jeans. That's 5 seconds with about 10 laps to go here at the line for the 4 machine. So I don't know. Last 10 laps of the race, hopefully.
Yeah, side by side here, Kyle Chadwick and Wesley Harlan. How about Wesley Harlan these last few laps? I tell you what, he is making his way through the field.
Yep, he's just shown the decision to wait out a possible caution and good tire run. Like I said, I think Wes Holland is a 4th place car. Could make it to Michael Jeans in 3rd. I'm sure Michael Jeans will defend that position beyond any recognition, though. But maybe. Michael Jeans is a pretty clean racer and has already been involved in a couple incidents. looking over here at the incident board. No one's reaching that 13 incident here tonight. Closest we have is 5 incidents for a driver, and they're already off the speedway.
Yeah, right now, and it is a little bit of a battle for the lead still, but not as much. That gap opened up to almost 0.2 of a second, but Torgerson not giving it up yet.
Yeah, like I said, this is only going to increase, I think, for the 921. They were within a tenth. Now it's almost 0.2. We're beyond that window. I think that the 987 is faster than the 921. Looking through the field real quick, Matt. Big mover here tonight so far as it stands on the waning laps. The 57 of Jeff Gilmore, 29th to 12th.
Yeah, great run for Jeff Gilmore. You talk about drivers that have won championships. He's on that list, and he won the summer championship. What was it, last summer?
Yep, last summer.
And he won it on consistency. I don't believe he won a single race, but you don't need to. You just need to be a consistent driver, and he was.
Yep, Kyle Chadwick won all the races last summer, and Jeff Gilmore won, the consistency factor.
Yep. 6 laps to go. Well, because you talk about Chadwick winning all the races, he won a lot of them, but then he just fell off.
Yeah, I mean, his winter season start was phenomenal, too. Just like this summer, Chadwick reeled off a couple wins on those short track racing through the divisions. And right now, trying to find his foothold, I think Chadwick will be happy to get back to those 1.5 miles and those mile tracks.
Yeah, right now, 5 laps to go this time by, and that battle for the lead ain't over yet. That gap is closing, Jeff.
I hope it is, because, like you said, 6 laps out, it'd be good to see the 987 try to make one of those passes within the last couple laps, like throwing it down. He acts like he wants to. He's got a lot of maneuverability the 987 does through the corners compared to what the 2. And maybe the 2's just beating him off the corner with speed, but not able to break that draft at the moment. Lap car going to come up and affect this too.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. That lap car can really easily just sway the way this race goes. If I hope they just drop down to the bottom of the racetrack, and of course they're not going to. I don't know really what they're thinking. They're right in the racing line. Come on.
Yep, Taylor Potts there in that 969. That's a different entry for Scott Patton and Troy Turgensen.
I mean, I like Taylor. He's a good driver. He's raced with these guys before. He should better know how to deal with that.
Yeah, that definitely messed up both of them.
Yep.
I think it hurt Scott Patton there.
It definitely did. That gap closed. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand the idea of the lap car can hold his line, but not with 5 to go and when the leaders are battling for the win.
Yep, that definitely helped Troy Turgensen.
Big
Scott
time.
Patton. Scott Patton kept his cool, though. I'm sure there was like a little bit of confusion. The leader, if he has time, look at Troy Turgensen dive it deep. Caution is out.
And this changes everything, Jeff.
Yep.
Kerry
029.
Cleaver.
Not even. Okay, let's see. Him and Margheim, teammates, get together.
Did they? Or did Cleaver? No, they didn't.
I don't.
Did
hell?
Cleaver spin himself out and... No.
I don't like that spin right there.
I don't either. He drove through the grass, hooked it right, hooked it left. Someone want to dial up Clint Boyer about intentional spinning, please.
Yeah, that I don't like.
Kerry, I
that
like
right
you,
there.
man, but that's funkadelic. Yeah, he drove it right down into the grass. Well, you know what? The wheel will tell all. Let's go to the cockpit cam.
I'm sure he didn't have control of the car. I just think he could have had better control of the car. It didn't look like it too difficult of a spin. What are you seeing, Matt?
Well, I don't know what happened to make him drive into the grass, but he's in the grass, turns the car right, turns it left, turns, I don't know. I mean, you could look at that both ways. You could say the grass made him loose, or you could say he tried to make it loose and tried to spin it out.
Well, here's the facts. He pushed the corner. He almost made contact with Markheim. He brought it down to the bottom and then went left and right, just from an outside view. It did not look like a clean spin. Like, he could have had better control of that car.
To me, it looks like if, you ask me, he could have locked, before he even got to the grass, because he was slowing down to begin with, it looked like he made a beeline to the grass. He could have slowed that car up a lot more and kept it down on the pavement part of that apron. I don't think that spin was even necessary, or even getting in the grass for that matter.
Yep, I'd have to agree. I don't
Chadwick
like the
winning the
caution.
race off pit lane. I'm sorry to interrupt there, and he
Yep.
wins it by a lot.
2-tire stop there.
Well, you talk about
Guaranteed.
Chadwick being fast on the short run. Here you go. But, yeah, no, I don't like the look of that caution either. I don't want to say he caused that intentionally or manipulated anything, but it did not look kosher to me.
Not. That's a great way to put it, Matt. And we'll leave it up for the owner and the review board to look at later on. It's here on ASN, so that will help out. And obviously all the admins probably get the replay.
So right now, 3 laps to go. Kyle Chadwick and Scott Patton. Well, your bet was Kyle Chadwick would be fast on the short run.
You said
Does
the
that
caution was
hold
going to
out?
come late, so
I didn't think it was going to come this late.
we'll have a green-white checkered here.
I thought it would be more fifth. I don't know where I honestly thought we were going to see a caution. I thought with 15 to go. I thought we were going to have a nice 10-lap shootout.
Boy, this is going to be quick, and we might have to use up an extra green-white checker because
Oh, don't even say it. Don't even
Well,
say it.
if
This
I'm
race
Scott
might end
Patton-
before 10 o'clock. Don't even say it.
if I'm Scott Patton, I'm upset. I really am. If I'm Troy Churgensen, I'm upset. Those two guys putting on a heck of a battle.
Yeah, if I'm anyone but Kyle Chadwick, I'm upset.
Ain't that the truth? And Chadwick knew how good of a speedster he was on the short run. He's going to have a heck of a time getting out of turn 2 with a possible 2-tire stop. So, I don't know, Matt, can you look up that statistic on the last pit cycle?
As to see who gets away better on 2-tire stops, unfortunately, I don't have a record of that. I wish I did.
Not like his pit time on this caution.
Let's see. Can I actually see that? No, I cannot. I can see that he did have a new fast lap, but that I already knew. It's the same fast lap that he's always had, 3-4. He does have the session fastest, what I said earlier. My old ticker used to tell me pit time, and this one doesn't, unfortunately.
Well, like I said, Kyle Chadwick's going to be fast. How fast can he be, and how safe can he be through the turns 2 exit and turns 4 exit? It's going to come up mighty quickly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Here we go. For what will hopefully be the final restart. Chadwick got a great restart there.
Yep, I saw a car dive down to the pits. I'm worried about some guys getting a black flag at the moment. around
Hopefully
midfield.
not.
Scott Patton, strong on that outside.
Yeah, Chadwick's got a... Oh, big
Big wiggle.
wiggle. Save it, though. Excuse me.
Michael Jeans.
Scott Pat... they're not going to make it through 3. They're not going to make it through 3.
Chadwick's not.
No, he won't. That was a 2-tire stop, though. You can tell it by that corner.
White flag a waving as long as the leader gets to it.
They'll get to it. They're 3 wide in the back, though. They might not make it through it. But, yeah, if you had any question about was that a 2-tire stop, was that a 4-tire stop, that corner told you everything you need to know right there, Jeff. Michael Jeans, Jeff, I want to point out, that last lap was the first lap this entire night that he has led. He might go on to win this race.
Yeah,
Got to get through this corner.
Yeah, Michael Jeans is going to be smooth here. This looks to be his race to win.
It is.
At the moment.
Off of 4, Scott Patton's not going to catch him now. It's too much gap, too little racetrack. Michael Jeans, victory lane. How about that? He leads 2 laps tonight, and it's the final 2.
Yep, most laps he needs to lead. Michael Jeans with the win. Scott Patton, I just feel bad for him.
Led the most laps.
Second, yep.
Well, here's
Rob Haynes up to 3rd.
Here's a statistic for you, and we don't have an official count on this, but I guarantee you, if you look at it, it's probably more than half the times. Most dominant car not winning a race, probably more than likely it happens.
Oh, with green, white checkered? Sure.
But what a race, though, for these guys. And Michael Jeans has got to be... Before this caution, or before we went green, I said the only guy happy about that caution was Kyle Chadwick. Well, now the only guy happy about that caution is going to be Michael Jeans, because that gave him the race win.
Oh, yeah. Looking for Mr. Jeans here to bring him up. I'll run through the... Well, I mean, Matt, if you want to run the top 10 real quick.
We just had it run off the top, but here's the top 10. Jeans, Patton, Held, Turgeson, Chadwick. Chadwick went all the way down to 6th. Holland, Watts, Mattis, and Richardson, and I think someone just blew out the motor. But it wasn't Michael Jeans. He's still got one as he's doing some burnouts. What a run, though, for that 08 car. Let's get him up in here, man. There he is. We'll bring him on up. Michael Jeans, if you got a copy on us.
Yes.
Man, I mean, you were good all night. You had that issue where you fell back. You brought it back up to 7th. You got back up to 3rd. And then that final caution was exactly what you needed. You led only 2 laps, but you lead the final 2. How's that feel?
It feels good. I mean, I hate it for Scott. Scott led, the race, the whole stinking race. I had a good car. I had good pace. Just a couple of screw ups, got loose on that one restart. Had to work my way back up through. And then that green flag stop, I come out all by myself, nobody to draft with. And, I need that rabbit in front of me to chase. If I have the other cars around me, I seem to do a little better because I judge off of them that I do a little better. I get off by myself like we did on that long run there, and I was overdriving trying to catch up to them. So come down at the green white checker. Kyle took 2. I knew I was in a good spot. It just worked out. Luckily. I said I'm in team speak with Scott. I said sorry to him as I went past him. I hated it for him, but I knew that was my opportunity to go. So that was good night.
All right. Well, any sponsors you want to thank, man?
Of course, a Bruzy, butt kicker. I love my butt kicker. Keeps my butt rumbling all night. John Hendrick over the top paints for the paint schemes. I kind of put a rush on him for last minute. I was going to drive this car, so he didn't get my paint scheme done, but I'll have it done for the next race. And of course, my new team and team boss, Elliott Sadler with Elliott Sadler Esports. I got a great opportunity with them, so thanks to them and all of y'all for putting on the broadcast and the league and letting me be a part of it.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, man. Great job on the finish.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Scott Patton with Jeff Wood.
Yeah, I get the unhappy interview, Matt. Scott, buddy, dude, I think the only guy happy to see the caution, I know Matt's already said this, was the 88. He had great quick speed, but obviously you and Troy dominating the show at the end of the race. I don't think Troy had anything left for you in those final waning laps, and that caution comes out, and then the pits and people doing different things to get in front of that 921 machine. Just tell us what you're doing starting on the outside in the final laps.
For that green white checker, I'm still trying to get over. Yeah, we just tried to get a good blast off there, and I knew Chadwick was probably going to push high with the old tires, so I kind of wanted to be on the inside of him. And then going into one, obviously he's going to make the move to block low, so I figured, maybe we can sail it in on the high side with the 4 tires. We did that. He got a little loose off 2, and I had to stomp on the brakes there to stay off of him. And there goes Jeans by. So, but at least a great finish, 1, 2, 3 finish for Bandit Motorsports, which is pretty awesome.
No, that's pretty cool. I mean, it sucks for you tonight, leading the most laps. Probably a good 60-70% of the race was with the 921. And, you reeled off 2 quick wins at the beginning of the Thursday schedule here in the Summer Series. Almost got another win tonight. Good start forward after a couple ups and downs over the last few Thursdays.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've had a blast here in this league, and I appreciate the invite, Justin, Michael, and guys reaching out to get me on the team here, and just having a blast overall. We had those 2 couple of wins early, like you said, and doing pretty good, but the highs and lows, racing around these guys, Chadwick, Jeans, Justin, Rob, all those guys, great competitors, and just having a blast overall.
Good to hear. Well, go ahead and thank those sponsors you need for second place.
Yeah, again, Northeast Motorsports Museum on the hood this week on the 921, and Bruzy Simware on the quarter panels. I think that's about it for this week, and appreciate what they do. Hopefully they'll be opening up the museum soon here in the Northeast, and appreciate what you guys do, John Hendrick for the league, Loose Lugnuts, and you guys for the broadcast, so appreciate that.
All right, Scott. Well, we'll see you what races you can make at Loose Lugnuts, and I'm sure you're going to have fun tomorrow in those little tiny cars.
Yeah, Legends. We got our Legend series firing up with Frankenstein tomorrow night, so appreciate that, and hopefully next time we're out here we'll improve by 1 more spot.
There you go. See you then.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, final interview here up with Matt Egan and Rob Haynes.
All right, Rob, have you got a copy on me?
Yeah, 10-4, Matt. How's it going?
I'm doing great, man. I hope you are too. I mean, what a run you put on. 3rd place race. Tell us all about it.
Man, I kept burning up that right front. I don't know. I was probably top 10 car. I think I was running 9th there when that final caution came out, and I didn't have anything for anybody. I was burning up the right front. I got to practice not burning up the right front. Other than that, I mean, yeah, the race went good. Clean car. Just tough to pass here at Michigan, and glad I was able to come home 3rd there with that last and final caution there. Threw 4 tires on and managed to come away from the field a bit to 3rd.
All right, well, how did that car handle for you tonight, man?
Pretty good for about the first, 6 or 7 laps, and then it wanted to push. If you drove in a little bit too hard in the corner, you just were chasing the car the whole night. So that was tough, and like I said, I was probably burning them up around 4 or 5. I don't know, just laying in it too much early on in the run. Got to learn to balance that out a bit.
All right, well, any sponsors you want to thank here?
Yeah, of course. You guys at ASN, the fans watching, the Bruzy, Race Gear, Over the Top, this Loose Lugnuts Summer Series. I mean, what else is there to do in 2020? I mean, this is the fun spot to be in. And Bandit Motorsports, my teammates there, Michael and oh, damn, I forget, Scott, and on the win there, and that was a good team finish for us.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us, man. Great job on the finish. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks, you guys too. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, from all of us at ASN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. We'll see y'all in the next one.